Small island developing states are some of the world's most beautiful places. With unique biodiversity, picture postcard scenery, and often excellent conditions to grow crops, these islands have a lot of potential. Yet they also share some overwhelming challenges. They are remote, they have high numbers of unemployed young people, and they are vulnerable to rising sea levels and natural disasters. Without strong partnerships, sustainable development is hard to achieve. Like most small island states, São Tomé and Príncipe has limited local outlets, leaving it at the mercy of the global market. São Tomé was once the world's biggest cocoa exporter, but in the 1990s, the global cocoa price crash destroyed a declining industry, and farmers like João José almost abandoned the crop.
A gente não tinha quem comprava. A gente quebra cacau no mato, às vezes punha no quintal, já estraga, a gente tem que jogar fora.
But then, 14 years ago, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD, was working in São Tomé to revive the island's economy. It saw an opportunity in the rapid growth in global demand for organic chocolate. So IFAD looked for a buyer who could partner with them to develop the industry. They invited a French company called Kaoka, which specializes in fair trade organic chocolate, to visit São Tomé, and Kaoka immediately saw its potential.
First of all, the quality of its cocoa, it's quite exceptional. I think also São Tomé is, by this story, quite an interesting country to work in and to try to give confidence and dignity to the farmers again.
So Kaoka and IFAD worked together to set up the first farming cooperative on the island, known as CCAB, providing the members with funds and training to produce organically certified, high-quality cocoa. Kaoka committed to buying all that CCAB produced at 40% above the conventional market price. So cooperative members like João now have increased their income by more than 20 times, and he can provide a comfortable life for his family. IFAD's Andrea Serpagli has now brokered new agreements with 5 more European food companies. He says these private-public partnerships are essential for the island's survival.
They allow a sustainable development to take place, sustainable in terms of protecting the environment, sustainable in terms of development of community, sustainable in terms of people earning more incomes.
CCAB now has a membership of more than 2,000 farming families, almost a fifth of São Tomé's rural population. Together they have revived the cocoa industry here. It's not just São Tomé. All islands want to revive their declining industries, and Grenada in the Caribbean has different challenges. There's little evidence now of Hurricane Ivan that destroyed most of the island a decade ago. But agricultural production is still half of what it used to be.
We're talking about before Ivan, agricultural export being over 100 million. Now we are way below this amount, not even 50% of it.
But now Byron Campbell is managing a new partnership that aims to change this. IFAD, the government of Grenada, and the Caribbean Development Bank are working together to develop new agricultural markets. And the key, says Byron, is for people to make better use of what they have.
Look more at your natural resources. Look at what you have, because invariably we are finding there are resources, there are local resources that we can adopt, we can turn around, we can use for our own development.
One farmer who has started doing just this is Cicia Houston. Her family farms everything they can, from cherries to bees to corn, but they have always struggled to earn a living. But when Cicia became sick a few years ago, she stumbled on a new opportunity. She was cured by a nutritious herb called moringa and was inspired to produce it herself.
We put our all to it because college bills to pay, high school to take care of, utility bills to take care of. It's a lot.
I call her the moringa lady. She has researched this on her own and come up with all these creative ways of packaging.
But Cicia could go only so far on her own. She has her product, but she doesn't know how to sell it. And this is where Byron and his team come in. They're teaching farmers like Cicia not only how to transform their ideas into viable businesses, but how to market and pitch them.
I'm a living testimony for moringa. So I'm looking forward to where I could get a market outside.
And Byron and his team will assist creative entrepreneurs like Cicia to do this by providing financial support to help them access markets beyond their borders. As in Grenada, small producers on all islands have to think creatively to expand their own markets. In Fiji, people from the Thea island have found their own niche based on a much broader philosophy. Last year, the elders here officially declared the Thea an organic island, and they believe that this is the only way to secure a healthy and prosperous future. The biggest proponent of this is Isikeli Karikaritu, the principal of the local high school, and he believes that young people are key.
When they leave the school, they will take up their places in the village. I thought that for the sustainability of the thought of organic and for the future well-being of the people and their livelihood, it was best to target these young students at an earlier age.
The students here learn about organic farming both in and out of the classroom, using organic methods to grow the food for their meals.
It teaches us students to be more responsible of how we manage our resources. We take care of the environment, and so likewise the environment will provide for us what we need.
The people on the island know that organic products, like this virgin coconut oil, fetch a premium price on the market. But they soon discovered that being an organic island is not enough. International buyers want organic certification, which is far too expensive for them. So a year ago, IFAD partnered with the Secretariat of the Pacific Community and the main organic body in the Pacific called POETCom to come up with another option.
Groups of farmers get together, discuss and certify themselves. This certification is done to a standard, and in this case we are using the Pacific Organic Standard. The documentation, the paperwork and all that is identical to a third-party certification. The difference here is we are certifying ourselves.
In order to certify themselves, all the people involved with organics on the island keep an eye on each other. Once a month, everyone, including the school principal, meet to decide if certification should be granted. Now, after just 1 year, the islanders are meeting with exporters to discuss future orders for their self-certified oil.
On this island, there's a change in attitude. It's like a hope, reawakening of hope.
And there's a reawakening of hope on all these islands as they find different ways to access new markets. And for Joao selling his cocoa to Europe, Cicia finding new ways to market her herbs abroad, and Isikeli teaching the next generation how to grow a niche product, working in partnership is essential for securing their future.